Hey guys, how are you today? All right, Fix It Pros here. We've got a uh, S20 Ultra 5G phone here that the customer wants to do a back glass, excuse me, a front screen tempered glass installation. But so what we do instead of just the way these come out because the glass is curved. When you put these on, a lot of times the fingerprint doesn't work, and because there basically is like just glue on the outside, this doesn't adhere to the glass and it's not as sensitive to touch. Okay, so what we're doing is we're going to use a ultraviolet glue, and we're going to adhere this glass, tempered glass, to the front screen so that everything's going to work. But the first thing is, if you see that little circle, we're going to take that little circle off. Okay, because that's glue, and what happens is the fingerprint is very difficult to touch, and it doesn't, a lot of time, most of the time it doesn't work. So we're gonna use our once we take that off, we're gonna use this ultraviolet glue to adhere this glass, and we're gonna show you. All right guys, so just hold on a second, and I'm gonna show you how to take off that little thing in the back. So you want to make sure this is nice and clean, because when we take this off, we don't want anything get in there. Okay, so the first step is we want to lift this, not all the way around, just till we get to that little button. Just till we get here. And we're going to apply a little heat. Not too much heat. And we're going to try to, without really, you don't want to dig too deep into the glass, but you just want to get a hold of this plastic right here, this little adhesive tape ring. And we're going to peel this little guy right off. Ready? Keep digging at it. Try not to get your fingers on here, but you can probably use better off using a tweezer, but if you can get your fingers on there, even better. Just kind of pull it around, and almost there. Almost had it. Okay, there we go. We got it. There's like a little scratch there. Don't worry about that. The glue's gonna take care of that. I don't want to touch it too much, because then that can, make some little smears or smudges or whatever. Okay, so now that was the hardest part. We got that done. We're now gonna clean the glass. Okay, well, I'm gonna show you one other little step. 1 second. Okay, so you want to take some tape, because on top of here, even though you really can't see it, there's actually an opening for the speaker. Okay, so you want to take that off, because that's very important. And you can get the UV glue in there, and it'll clog it up. You can clean it later, but it's better not to interfere with that right now. So we're gonna tape that up really good. Try to get it on the glass, and you can peel this off later. There we go. So now, just in case the glue gets through there, we're going to be able to peel that off. So you're going to see, like, this is probably going to go right here, and it's not a big deal because there's a black trim. You're just going to peel that off. Okay, so now let's get to the fun part. We're now going to clean this off really good, right? Really well, I should say. Very well. Clean it off very well. Or really good, whatever. Clean this off nice. And the glass isn't very expensive. I could put a link. You can get like a 2-pack or 3-pack for like maybe $5 or $10. The glue's that's the more expensive thing. That's about 20 bucks, but that'll last you like probably like 20 of these or more. You're gonna need a UV nail machine, UV nail machine. I bought one 6, 7 years ago for about 50, $60, but they got some cheap ones too. And then you can kind of do these repairs, get a little heat gun just for that one piece, or you can use a hair dryer if you don't want to spend any more money. But you can do this for like S8s and up, where the S8s, S8 Plus, they don't have that fingerprint, so you don't have to worry about that. You can go right to the glue. But once you do that, you can charge people $50, $60. That just depends. And also, this is great because sometimes if there's tiny cracks in the screens, and the customer doesn't want to pay like $250 for S8, S8 Plus to fix, and it has a small little crack in a corner, and they're not trading it in. You can do the glass repair like this with the glue, and it'll adhere really nice, and it's almost like it's not even on there. And a lot of times, you'll see this trim is a lot thicker on the S8, S8 Pluses. They'll cover like cracks on the corners, so that's really good. Okay, so now that it's nice and clean, oh, look at that, it was nice and clean. Use some alcohol. Make sure there's nothing on there. And you can always, something gets on the screen while you're applying this, you can get it out before you put the glass on. Just double check. That's a little scratch in the glass, but that'll get hidden with the glue. Okay, now to the next step. We're gonna get our glue, and the first thing is you want to make sure that there's no air bubbles in this, okay, especially if it's been sitting around for a while. So the first step is just to pour some out somewhere. 1 second, guys. Okay, so now just kind of show you what I did is just take a little bit and squirt a little bit out so that there's no air bubbles, or if there is one, you just got it out. Okay, now we're looking at our screen, and what I like to do is I like to start maybe like from the middle, and go to the top and then go to the bottom. It's actually, you know what, it's better to start from an end. I just thought about something. If you do catch a bubble, it's easy for the squeeze the bubble out from the end versus the middle. So next time, start at either the top or the bottom. This one, just put enough, like maybe that's about enough. You don't want to put too much either, but you don't want to put too little either, because you don't want to press the screen too much to get in some of the corners. Okay, so now that that's done, okay, just let it sit for like a second. Let it kind of like spread out a little bit. All right, now this is the difficult part. You want to touch down the glass. You don't want to drop it because it'll splash and you'll create a bunch of bubbles, okay? You want to just like gently place it down, kind of like, you're placing it down. This is exaggerated, but this way, let it touch the glass, you'll see it, and then slowly bring it to the end, okay? So make sure there's no little lint or anything. Okay, so now we're going to take this off, okay, and now we're going to gently bring this on top of here, okay? So we're going to start, now remember there's adhesive on the black trim of this, so you don't want to stick it down all the way, but you want to come down on an angle. So I'm coming down on this side, okay? Coming down on this side. And you're gonna see like see how I just touched the glass? Okay, so just gently start lowering this end. You don't want to drop it. Let it do its thing, and then little by little, then I'm just gonna start bringing this side down. Okay, so just let it do its thing. It's gonna come down. Don't drop it, because if you drop it, you're gonna form bubbles. Okay, and the bubbles are kind of hard to take out, but it just takes practice. Alrighty, so once it's down, then you're good. You're safe now, okay? No bubbles, okay? But don't just leave this, don't just lay this down flat just yet. Kind of like play with it a little bit, because see how you, I don't know if you heard that little sticking sound, but that's because there's adhesive on the end. So line up the camera, line up the edges, and you'll see that if it does get stuck, as when the glue, this ultraviolet glue hits that adhesive glue, it'll loosen up again. But it's always better just to kind of try to line it up from the beginning and then let it do its thing. Okay, so now we're gonna have to wait, and it's gonna start spreading out. Okay, stay tuned. Okay, so this is to show you a little progression. As you see, the glue is starting to, go through the whole LCD, the whole screen. So we just have to, lift certain parts up, because there's the back cameras, so it's kind of tilted. So as you can see, it kind of went all over here. Sometimes you can give it a little nudge just to get into those corners like that. Okay, and we're just gonna wait now. Probably gonna put like an extra little piece here just to give it let gravity, push it down that way, so it'll start moving that way. Alrighty, so stay tuned. Alrighty, okay, so sometimes you gotta nudge it a little bit. You can see like there's like a little bit of a little bubble right there, but that's fine. You're gonna see some of the UV glue come out off the side. Just kind of wipe it down. Just make sure you're not getting any right here. This is why you want to put that tape there, so it doesn't get in the speaker. Okay, so you want to wipe that down. And when you put this in the UV machine, sometimes you have to put a little pressure just to get that air bubble out, and then it'll cure. So you might have to just kind of keep your finger on that portion, just so that glue, especially up here too. Sometimes the adhesive tape on the other side gets all the way in that corner, so you might have to lift it a little to adjust it. There you go, see? Because there's like, it's glued down here, and then it's forming like an air pocket. Sometimes the same thing happens here. You might have to just lift it a little bit just to get the air out of there, so it'll just stay by itself. See? There you go. Perfect. Well, it might pop up a little bit, but we're gonna hold that down. But as long as just like one corner, and get all your little air pockets out of there just by squeezing them out. Okay, I'm gonna get to the UV machine, and I'll be back. Alrighty guys, okay, so there you have it. We got it fixed here. We got the glass on there. So what you want to do is now remove this tape. Okay, second. Okay, so we're going to remove this little tape here. And again, we put that in there because you don't want the glue spilling into the speaker here. I did that one time, not knowing that there was actually a speaker there, like a hole for the speaker. It's so thin. But anyways, pull that out. Okay, now we're gonna clean. Take some alcohol. We're gonna clean that area just in case anyways, because you don't want them coming back later. Clean that really good. I'm gonna show you, take another one of these little tools and kind of go right across the edge. You'll pick up some glue there. That way you just clean it really good. Okay. Do the same thing on the other side. See some of that glue come off. Do the same thing at the edges here. And then do the same thing over here, just in case there was some glue. Then you can always take a little alcohol, spray it on the brush, and just get that corner in there. Just get that speaker, just in case you got a little glue in there. Okay, really nice. 1 second. Okay, so we just continue to clean. Get all that extra glue off. And we should be good to go. And that's it. And I don't know if you can see it, but it's super thin there, but it's definitely on there. Okay, all right guys, thanks again. Please like and subscribe. Have a great day.